Good evening. It is Wednesday, January 23rd, and I'm back from outer space. No, I'm back to show you that I can really shake 'em. No, I'm back from a fairly nasty cold that I've had the last couple of weeks. It kept me from streaming because I was afraid I would wear out my voice. I still kind of have that cold, I think, maybe, perhaps, but my voice is feeling a lot better. So we'll see how this goes. I know I'm not going to get through the entire day 5 of Parasite Eve, because day 5 of Parasite Eve is very long. Every day to this point has had a single dungeon. This one has 3, although one of them is optional. But it's me, so we're going to do the optional dungeon. That's just how this works. To recap, let's see. Day 1, how was the worst blind date ever, where the diva of the opera we went to see set everyone on fire and turned out to have the ability to make animals mutate spontaneously. We weren't sure why. Day 2 we learned a little bit more perhaps why, and said diva had a concert in Central Park in which she melted the entire audience into a giant mound of orange jello. Day 3, we met a Japanese scientist, Kunihiko Maeda, who had a theory about what was going on. We checked out an electronic microscope and learned that Eve, the villain of the piece, had taken over the body of this opera diva and set her and was the incarnation of her mitochondria. And her mitochondria had the power to do essentially magic. And our main character, Aya, has similar powers, but is opposed to Eve in some way for some reason. And then after we learned that, Eve attacked the police station that we worked for and killed some of the cops and made a dog into an evil Cerberus monster that then had to be put down, and it was sad. Day 4, we went to a hospital. I got trapped in the basement, and Eve managed to steal a sperm sample from the fertility clinic and escaped while a jet aircraft launched from a nearby aircraft carrier crashed into the roof of said hospital, forcing us to dive off onto the emergency window washing escape elevator thing. So that's where we are right now. I am not sponsored by Bud Light. I'm not sponsored at all, although if, hit me up if you want to give me money, that's fine. But I happen to have a free pint glass that I won at the local pub quiz a while back. I'm trying to stay hydrated, again, because of said cold. All that said, we're ready to dive into day 5. So here we go. Assuming I can remember how the controls work. It's been a while. Why is this not working? Oh, it's not working because I don't have the software selected on my end. That's better. I've not fed my cats their snacks yet, so I may have to get up and do that here a little ways in. Day 5, Evolution. Turn down my headset. And we're presented just directly with the island map, so we can go anywhere. I actually don't remember where I'm supposed to go first. It's also not letting me do anything. Why is it not? Oh, there we go. Okay, so the D-pad is turned off. I have to use the joystick. I'm going to check my volume balance here real quick. I have a sneaking suspicion that the game is a little on the loud side. Yep, okay. We'll adjust that here. This game does have a great soundtrack, but I would like my commentary to be heard. Better. Okay, that's right. First we go to Chinatown for the worst level in the game, unfortunately. But yes, basically what you have to do is go to the places that have just now popped up onto your map that you haven't been to before. We're going to do this one first, which is required, and then the optional one. Sort of look around. Now, on either side of the street as we advance, there's various hidden items, and I'm going to hope I remember where they all are. Yeah, there's this little side alley here. Nope, not yet. Here. defense. And medicine. Actually, let me check my inventory here. We may want to go drop stuff off at... Yeah, let's see, we've got some tools. We were going to want a couple of these. And no, we have enough inventory slots. We don't have to worry about dropping stuff off yet. Alright, so these are sort of mutant cats. Yeah. They're sort of upgraded versions of the rats from earlier. But their fire attack's a lot harder to dodge. Yeah, it doesn't help that I've been playing off-stream a game that has controls that are similar to this game, but just different enough that it's going to throw me off at times. Headset's still too loud. At least one more side area here. This isn't it. Must be on the next screen. And snakes haven't really changed since we encountered them in Central Park. This is not the worst level yet. That's coming up. Although all the hidden items that you really have no idea were there doesn't make a great case for it. Ah, that's right. So there's this... There's a chest over here first. The grenade launcher, just sitting around the streets of Chinatown. Yeah, there's a phone there we could use to save, but there's also this side alley here that looks like there's nothing here, but there's actually, if I can find it, there it is. There's a tool. I think there's one more item. I could be wrong about that. I also don't know why the soundtrack cuts off when I get in this area, but all right, that must be it. I must be misremembering. I thought there was one more item. Never mind. We'll save here. Going into kind of an obnoxious part of the game. I'm going to take a quick check to make sure that I am sending audio properly, so there will be a little bit of overlap/feedback while I check that. 1 second. Huh. I'm really quiet going out. That's interesting. Pull up my software here. Could just be that my browser's turned down, and it's not... As I just get completely distracted. Alright, yeah, I'm going to turn down game sound a little bit more so that if you want to turn me up, you won't deafen yourself. That's better. Okay. Game sound is really loud for some reason. There's Maeda peering down a manhole. Oh. Yeah, it's here. Huh? It looks like rotten meat. I'm going down to have a look. Notify Daniel for me. So we've discovered where the orange Kool-Aid, Jello, may have gone. Yes, wait, here, take this. And the third pointless good luck charm. Careful now. I don't want to go down there yet. There's a chest in the background here. There we go. Okay, this is the worst part of the game, the second sewer level. It is a maze that is a bunch of corridors, a bunch of twisting corridors all alike, essentially. It essentially is, I believe, a 2x5 set of nodes where you can go in each of the 4 cardinal directions. And you're put in sort of a random part of it, and you have to make your way to the exit, and there's a bunch of items hidden here, to the point that I'm actually pulling up a map right now so that I make sure I get them all in a fairly quick method without wasting a bunch of time, because it's just, I mean, there's no sound, there's just the squishy noise of me running through raw sewage. The enemies are fairly annoying, but the items are fairly lucrative. I mean, this one's just ammo, but there can be fights just about anywhere, and there are these really annoying bats that if they hit you, reduce your attack range to practically nothing. Make it almost impossible to hit anything. So it's, yep, I just got hit, so now look, my attack, there's no way I'm gonna hit anything. So I have to wait for that to wear off while continuing to dodge the sonic attack. I don't know why bats screaming at you make you blind, but that's just video game logic for you. Partway through, we'll get an item that makes this much easier, but we're not there yet. No. Yeah, they don't hit for much, they're just really annoying. Let's see, and we're gonna be fighting dozens of them as we progress through the sewers here. And they don't really ever have anything good for drops, just items that cure the blindness that they cause. Yep, and they respawn behind you. Now there's 4 of them. Yeah, and I got hit mid-attack, so now all of my shots are missing. This weapon was really nice in the hospital, and now it's kind of annoying because it takes forever to finish off the bats when you're shooting random targets. One of my cats is behind me on the bookshelves with the zoomies. He will calm down in a minute here when I go to get them a snack. I would like to be out of this first part of the sewers. Not doing so well at dodging these things either. It does not help. More bats, possibly. There's one other, yeah. So there's another item in here you can encounter, which is a recolor of the giant frogs from the other sewer level. They aren't as annoying because generally you just fight them on their own and they go down pretty quick. But they have this jump attack. You just have to keep moving and hope you eventually dodge. I'm just going to take this and use it immediately. Only recovers 90 HP, which is not much at the moment, but... Some of the items are in chests, some of these are these little twinkly things on the ground. Now, super tool, that's quite useful. I'm going to hold on to that for much later. That lets you move some stats from one weapon or armor to another without consuming the armor or weapon like regular tools do. So that's very useful if you want to get 2 pieces out of a single item. Or remove, because there are actually some abilities that are negative, and if you want to just remove the negative stat from an item. Hi, Leroy. Leroy wants a snack, and or my attention. Oh, okay. Tried to pick him up to show him to the internet, but he was not having it. But you can probably hear him. Stuck in a reload animation and could not dodge. Yeah, so you want to stand far enough away that you have time enough to dodge their attacks, but as their attacks progress, they get wider, so it's actually, you have less space to work with in some ways. That one just seemed to have just missed. Or perhaps I resisted the darkness part of the attack. I'm not sure which. And that item restores more HP than I have currently. Ah, snakes. I'd forgotten that you could actually run into snakes down here. I walked into that one. That's unfortunate. I'm actually going to try something on this bat. Show off an attack that I've had for a while and just never used, which is the one damaging ability I have called Energy Shot. It's single target, and it consumes your entire PE bar. And the damage numbers were slightly off the screen. Yeah, and it leaves you completely immobile for a split second. So I think it only does like 150 damage. It's not really worth using, which is why I don't use it, but I figured I would show it off there. But because it can be used while you're blinded and still will hit. Leveled up, and I got a spell called Gene Heal, which lets your HP slowly tick up over time that I will almost certainly never use because it just wears off too quickly to really be worth it. I did get some more bonus points that I'm going to dump into my item carrying capacity because I'm going to be getting several more items down here without a chance to visit the police station and store them. Bats are even worse in these narrow corridors. Fortunately, we fight them fewer at a time. So they also die faster. See, now this item, for example, this armor I just picked up, it boosts your max HP, but it lowers... I'm not sure if that's lowering your attack speed or if it's lowering your attack damage, but either way, this item would be a candidate for using a super tool to remove the negative stat. I may not use it at all, so I mean, because super tools are fairly rare. Another grenade launcher in the sewers. Managing to get few screens without encounters, which is always nice. I'm sure I've just jinxed myself, but it's still nice. Yeah, I could use the energy shot here, but I would only hit one of them, and it would completely deplete my PE bar, so I'd have to wait for it to recharge before I could use it again. I got stuck in a reload animation again. Pretty soon we'll be changing weapons, and I will things will go a lot more smoothly. Yeah, usually you get... the way I usually play this, I get one new weapon on each day that I then pretty much use for the rest of the day. And we're about to get that for this day. Although, because this day is so long, I will actually change things up at least once, possibly twice. Thankfully, the way this game is coded, you can only get into one encounter on each screen. There's a trigger point, essentially, on each screen where it rolls a die or flips a coin or however you want it to determine whether or not you get an encounter. And so, at certain points in the game, if you want to farm up experience or items or whatever, you find areas where the trigger points are close to the screen transitions. You can just go back and forth trying to trigger encounters as much as possible. Okay, here, again, because we just have the... I still got hit with it. Because we just have the one that, I will use this again. 178 damage, which is decent, but again, it leaves you vulnerable and completely depletes your PE bar, so it's not... You don't want to use it against bosses. lost track of what room I was in there briefly. Okay. This, and my inventory is full. Alright, I will swap you for this item that I didn't even want. Alright, here it is, the M870 shotgun. One of 2 shotguns in the entire main base game. There are more in the New Game Plus bonus dungeon. Shotguns have a special property where they hit a target and anything standing near that target for a decent amount of damage. So we are going to swap out this Uzi for that shotgun and move our Uzi stats over. It only fires 10 rounds total. It fires 2 at a time, but it will make dealing with these goddamn bats a little bit easier. Like I said, it has 16. Alright, that's better. And this will be my item, my weapon of choice for the next goodly portion of this day. Although, as I said, not the entire day. First couple of times I played through the game, I did just use that weapon for the entire rest of the game, but I've since learned that there are a couple more better item combinations that you can put together. That involve moving the shotgun's burst attack to actually another type of weapon. A handgun, actually. A handgun firing shotgun shells. It's somewhat humorous if you think about it. Okay, this giant room is where we've been trying to get to. And we want to get to that bridge overhead. Unfortunately, we can't get there from this side. We have to go back into the maze, essentially, and come out on the left side there. So, quick loop through here. Of course, now that I have the shotgun, I'm not getting any encounters that I can show it off in. It's figures. There we go. Now, if these bats will do me a favor of clumping up, I still need to dodge. That's decent. Yeah, see there I hit one for 81 and the other behind it also for 81. The only downside is it does fire fairly slowly and doesn't have the greatest range, but it really has a better range than it has any right to. Considered. Yeah. See, it sort of fires in a cone, so even though those two weren't terribly close together, I did hit the one behind it for some damage. Alright, that was the first and most annoying section of this sewer level. I'm going to heal back up here because there's a mini-boss coming up. And I can put away the map now. The rest is all fairly linear. That's not graffiti on the wall back there, by the way. Clicked away from the thing. It didn't give me control back because of that. Ah, yes, an upgrade for my melee weapon. This one actually lets you steal items when you attack. I don't believe that's ever really worth doing, since it's like medicines or other things that the game just gives you tons of all the time. But in a pinch, I could see it being useful. This is not the mini-boss, this is just a single bat. Apologies if you can hear my cat playing ping pong in the background. He wants to be fed, and I will feed him in just a moment here after the next cutscene. Cutscene incoming, I believe. This is... It's the audience from Central Park. Ew. Orange Jello incoming. Yes, I'm sure that handgun will do a lot against the giant mound of orange Jello. And it drops into surprisingly clean water. I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be a sewer, not a water reservoir, but she refers to it as a reservoir. I have to get the slime out of the reservoir before it infects the whole city. It's unclear whether this slime is going to infect or what it's for. I guess Aya's a little puzzled. I mean, it'll become a little bit more clear, but right now it's just an icky goo that was the audience in Central Park was turned into. I'm gonna go feed my cats. I'll be back in just a minute. And we're back. With sound, even, perhaps. Excellent. I may have accidentally just muted the game sound and let you hear the process of me feeding my cats instead of the other way around, but so is life. I'm not a professional. Alright, down here is the mini-boss. Completely optional, I think. Unless there's a key down here. I forget. This may not be optional. It's some of these things I do for muscle memory, whether or not it's actually required or not. I don't remember. 2 of these sewer crocodiles that were the boss of day 1. There are not 2 targets to each, however. And the arena we fight them in is much larger, so it's... I was going to say it's easier to dodge, and then I just got hit by an attack that I sort of forgot about. I thought if I dodged the beam I would be okay. I'd forgotten that the beam explodes into little fireballs. Okay, definitely want to heal here. Back off, try to be a little bit better about dodging. Alright, dodge that one. The other one's going to attack in a second. Yep, there it goes. Still got clipped by the fireballs, unfortunately. One down, this fight gets a lot easier. Easier than I thought. Level up. Ah! My inventory was full. I didn't get the items. Shoot. Well, that sucks. I am not going to reload from the start of this place. Good lord, that would be terrible. Still. Serves me right for clicking through that a little too fast. Tisk. Free up some more space in my inventory, though. Now, of the stats that I could have screwed up and missed, those were probably the least important. I think it reduces the chances that enemies get a critical hit on me. Video games never do very well at matching ladder climbing animations to where the rungs actually are on the ladder. Stairs are often the same way. Just less noticeable. Little bit of a quasi-puzzle in this utility room. Along with some ammo. And a save point. So we try to go through here. I guess we get in a fight, but we can't because the reservoir is still flooded. It's really hard to see what angle they're coming from, but sometimes, by the way. As well as telling what sections you can walk on and which sections you can't, which is fairly arbitrary on this screen. Yeah, the water is too high to cross. So I have to go back in here. Sort of a mini puzzle. I can move the slime in the reservoir by using this control panel. Master power is off. Turn it on. Activate pump 1. Okay. Leave it on. Activate pump 2. Something definitely happened. Pumped the orange jello into a different section of the reservoir. And that made it angry, so it tore the roof down, thus damming the water flow so that we can get through. And I don't know if it matters if we leave the power on or not, but I'm going to turn it off just to be safe. And I'm going to save. The next boss is kind of a pain. be a little bit irritated if I have to fight bats again. No, good. So yeah, now we can jump down into the dry bed, climb back out the other side, and go up these stairs. More stairs into an abandoned subway platform, because that's how New York works, right? Don't walk on the tracks, kids. And the soundtrack's back, which is nice. Trying to remember where all the items are. Here's one. Well, that'll make up for what I missed from the alligators. There's an exit here, but it's locked. And another save point, even though we just used one. Don't walk on the tracks, kids. Because you'll have to fight mole mutants. A deceptively long-range melee attack. Ugh. Boss time. Giant centipede. This part, not too terrible, although this is really hard to dodge and causes poison. A lot of poison in this fight. Phase 1, not so bad. He hits fairly hard. Can cause poison in a number of ways. Unfortunately, he attacks fairly often. But Phase 2, he breaks into 4 independent sections, and this is where it gets really annoying, because these things are almost impossible to dodge. Having the shotgun helps slightly, because sometimes you can get a spread attack. But yeah, you get hit by one, you get hit by a lot. And they move fast, so they move out of range fast. Time to start using all of those medicines I've been accumulating. One down. That makes this a little bit easier, because their attack patterns get a little easier to dodge. Ideally, you can stay in the spot where the dead one would be and dodge most of their attacks that way. I'm actually going to use haste to help with that process, because I can move faster with haste turned on. Hey, I thought I had a... Okay, I thought I had a revive. I do. That's why I wasn't so worried about healing, although I'm going to need to in a second here. So I have no more revives, so I have to be more careful here. Probably the most annoying boss in the whole game. Alright, now that we're down to just one segment, this gets a lot easier. There we go. Okay. Boss down. Let's actually collect the rewards this time, though. That lets us come over to this side of the tracks, where there's some hidden items. Inside some of these abandoned subway cars. Body armor that prevents paralysis. Another tool. And a thing of some kind. Another tool. Way more tools than I currently need. They'll be useful later. Towards the end of the game, we're going to do a lot of item manipulation. And we're out into the fresh air again. The sign inside said this is Brooklyn Bridge, which could be. I don't know my New York landmarks very well. And alas, another dead cop. My inventory is full. Let's pitch one of these medicines, because I need this, because it's a key. You mean this gate key? The slime's going towards... the museum. How can you tell? I mean, she's right, but I don't know how she can tell. And there we are. That is the end of Disc 1. Now I'm going to cross my fingers and hope I know how to do a disc swap in this software. Change disc. Checking disc. Okay, I think we're good. We're good. Okay, so yes, the partway through the 5th of 6 days is where you swap to the second disc for the game. I think that's largely due to the animations being a little bit backloaded towards the all the ending stuff that happens. I mean, and also the last dungeon being really big. Say hi to the internet, Leroy. He's in this box here. Can't really tell. It's just a blob of black. But I don't want to disturb him too much. He's had a rough couple of weeks too. 2 bats and a mole mutant. Waiting for it to use its sonic attack so that I can hopefully dodge it. Come on, there we go. The mole mutants aren't so bad. They don't hit terribly hard, and they're fairly easy to just stand outside the range of their attacks. Back up onto the platform. And there, we are done with the worst dungeon in the game. Not the largest, but the most annoying, with one of the worst bosses in the game. And it's nighttime. And I think, although I think I've only been doing this for about an hour, this is a good time to stop. I don't want to wear out my voice too much. It's the first of 3 dungeons that is part of Day 5. So the next stream will probably be the optional dungeon and then the first part of the final dungeon. I'm probably going to break Day 5 into 3 pieces. Off stream, I'm going to go just dump a bunch of stuff out of my inventory. No actual gameplay involved there, just clearing up, because the next optional section has some good items you don't want to miss out on. So I'm going to call this a night. I know it's pretty short. I will hopefully be back Friday? I don't think I have anything going on, and I will be back on Friday, but we'll see. Cross your fingers, I should be back on Friday. Meantime, thank you for watching. I will see you next time.